Hi there, today we're going to be talking about Rioja. Rioja is something that you don't need to sell. If you're a wine merchant, you really don't need to sell it, and the simple reason is it sells itself. Everyone knows it, it's a global brand that is just easily accessible to everybody. A lot of people don't know what goes into it, but what grapes go into it, or why it tastes the way it does, but it just works because everybody likes Rioja. I'm not a big fan. There are a couple of producers I adore, but as a general rule, I'm not a big fan of Rioja, and particularly cheaper Rioja. I think a lot is made up of inferior wine. I think things are over oaked. You get reserves for like £7 from certain companies, and they're not reserves. They're just they may technically be reserves, but you know that's like saying I'm a professional footballer just because I can kick a football. You know. This is the problem, is that Rioja is the brand, and as a result of which everyone can just be drawn to it. I have this here today. It's the Senorio de Unuela, and I apologize for my Spanish pronunciation. I'm not very good at accents or pronunciation. It's a 100% Tempranillo, entirely stainless steel. I have pre-poured. My camera ran out of battery, so I've already poured it. It is from a cooperative. They have about 600 hectares of land, about 200 members in their cooperative. So this pretty much goes against everything that I love about wine, which is the small producer and the small amount of land and really looking at terroir. However, the unfortunate thing about wine nowadays is if you want a wine that is going to be at a more everyday drinking price, let's say sub £10, a lot of the time you have to go big. You have to go with big producers, and what I tend to do there is I look for producers who are either ethical, organic. They are, they are actually paying attention to their wine and just, almost happen to be producing it in large volume. They do make a lot of wine. They have about 8 million litres a year of production, so it is something that is a big producer. So, what's it like? You're getting some sort of sweeter stewed blueberry aromas to it. You get some nice warm, I want to say star anise come, almost a sort of clovey element coming out of it. It's a bit Christmassy. You're getting a nudge towards that Christmas cake aroma to it almost. But the sort of stewed, the warm through berries, the sort of darker purpley berries. That's what's coming through to the fore a bit. Red currants, black currants. You get quite a bit of tannin coming through, but it's not overpowering. It's actually quite nice. It's really quite prominent, but it's not jarring. It actually does balance out, and it's quite silky, although weighty. You get some floral elements as well. Some violet comes out, maybe a bit of lavender. It's It's a really lovely bottle of wine. Really nice Rioja. Just drinkable. This with some nice sort of midweek sausage and mash, that sort of meal, it would go beautifully. I'm really pleasantly surprised with this wine. So that's the 2013 Senorio de Unuela Tempranillo Rioja. Yeah, bloody good drop.